So we have bricklaying going on. Not sure what the end result is going to be of all this, but as ever, I will see when the result is achieved. Rice harvest continues. In the distance over there is mechanical thresher I see using. There's another one in the distance over there. Past a man doing some landscaping, bunch of sheep. Mother-in-law's grave is in that set of trees there, back towards the shed, and over in that direction there's another mechanical thresher. So lots of rice threshing going on, and it appears to have been a good crop because we've actually got some payback from our investment in property in rice crops. It's Sunday morning. I didn't bother taking video of this yesterday, I think. So they've got the brickwork done for the base of the platform, and they've got the supporting structure formwork in there. Now he's creating now is the base that the concrete slab will be built on. So you can see there's a bit of chorane or concrete reinforcing rod in front there, so I'll be making a good structure on top of the wooden base. While they do that, I will do things here because my bearings and seals came in yesterday, so I shall have a go at reassembling this. That's the oil seal in. Now I watch enough machinery restoration channels on YouTube to know that there's a right way and a wrong way for oil seals to go in, which I wouldn't have known if I hadn't watched those channels. So I was able to spot on these which is the side which is supposed to go towards the oil, or goes towards the pressure, which is that one would be facing towards the pressure, and that one would be facing away from the pressure. So I've got that in the right way. I'll now have a go at getting a couple of those bearings in there. That was easy enough, they're just a press fit. So now I have a go at getting the shaft through. Well, that was a slightly less easy press fit. I tried to go through from the bottom initially, that being the top up there and up there, and it was not real keen on that, wanted to bind up, so I managed to get it back out again and went down from the top, and that appears to have worked better. It doesn't spin freely because of the seal on the top of the shaft, but that's not unreasonable, but at least it spins. So now I'll put the rest of the components on there and try and make sure I get that shaft centered where it's supposed to be, left right in that orientation. But yeah, I'll show you the end result. There we go. It's still fairly stiff to turn, but as I said, that's because of the oil seal at the top there. Those oil seals are sort of like a donut that's got an outer and inner wall, and around the inner wall there's actually a metal spring. So yeah, a bit of fiddling to get that to set back into place properly, but yeah. So now I'm going to take that over and stick it on the blender and we'll see what happens. So I just checked and there's going to be 10 centimetres of concrete on top of that, which will mean that if I put my electrics up in that rail, it'll be reachable by other people. Well, I've got it back together. I ran it for about 30 seconds and it got a bit warm, but nothing like as hot as it did the other day. Doesn't sound real wonderful, so I think the bearings might not be the best, but when you pay the equivalent of $3.20 Australian for a packet of 10, I'm kind of thinking they're not going to be the top of the line jobs, so might be using them fairly often. But now that I know that I can do it, I can do a renewal when I need to. But yeah, so you can actually make heated soup in here by putting your veggies in and then let it run long enough, and the metal parts at the bottom will cook the soup. Not ideal, but hey, it's too good to waste. Won't be long now before they get an edge up around this and start mixing some concrete for it. So it's tied back into the wall behind it, so it's all going to be nice and strong. Well, the two Indo power boards for the gazebo have come. After they asked for white, never mind, black or blue, doesn't matter. And they both came in identical sealed plastic bags. So it wasn't like something you'd be opened and resealed, but one of them only came with a bonus digital thermometer. So, okay, lucky get prize, I guess. And standing here in the shed, I'm feeling pretty uncomfortable. And I think it's a fairly apparent why from those readouts on the weather station. I was innocently sitting in my lounge room this morning watching YouTube clips when I noticed that 5 of my cameras had gone off, including that one. Those 5 cameras are all over here at the shed, so that told me the power to them had gone off. So I came over to the shed and the power to everything had gone off, so that took me aback a bit. So I went down to the switchboard and I took the cover off that and went back to the I was checking all the breakers initially, but I went back to the house and got my multimeter, and with the cover off the switchboard I probed in there and found no power getting to there. So I came down and opened that one that says AC power distribution board and used my multimeter and decided there was no power in there. This thing said it was still okay. So I thought, well, okay, well maybe just try resetting that just in case. So I hit the this button up here to shut it all down. Gave it a few minutes, turned that back on again. Still no power in there. So okay, what else could it be? So I was looking at all these along here, and I found this one had tripped out. It says AC out, and I thought, well, that could be a clue. So I put that one back up. Okay, nothing apparently happening. And then it was sort of floppy, so I put it off and back on again, and it came good. So I heard a beep from over at the bench over there, and everything had powered up again. So next mystery is, why did that trip out? Not sure they'll be able to tell, because the diagnostics in that thing, while extensive, aren't going to be monitoring the external stuff, unless it can say there was some sort of current spike or something. I don't know why that would have happened. But yeah, anyway, so came and sorted this out and turned that off again now. But the other thing I decided I'd do is bring this thing back over, and I think I need to do a bit more refinement on this. So small washer, cross braid, big washer, straight blade, washer on top of a silicone thing. Okay, so it's showing a bit of a line around there, so I think I need to Need to hone that down again. I think I might have made that a bit rough when I was trying to clean it up. So, okay. Let's see. This comes out the top. So I need to take that one off somehow. Yeah, anyway, I'll show you the result later. Yeah, well, I had it apart. Buffed up the top on the buffing wheel on the bench grinder, and got a bit of lube on the shaft where it goes through the oil seal, just to reduce friction there, and reassembled it. But I forgot the video already of it. You just have to take your word for it, won't you? Now it's all together, let's see what sort of bearing noise we get. It's consistent. There was sort of odd noises coming yesterday, but the other thing is, yeah, there is a bit of smell of heated something in there. I think the top of the hub in there, I think it's got some surface imperfections now, and the silicone washer that sits on top of that, I think that's getting a little bit unhappy with it. So I'm going to have to see if I can find another one of those washers. They might be a hard thing to find, but it's worth a try. Yeah, it's Monday evening. There's been a bit of rain, but I don't think it's been enough to register on the gauge. But that's what the guys have got done today. Is they've got the slab all concreted. There's some tiles which will be laid on it subsequently. Got them to install the support cable that comes from over here across to the shed. We'll sling the electrical cables on. Decided that the lighting here, instead of being sort of part way in from each end, should be at the ends, a globe at each end, so that's where the insects are attracted to, and the people in the middle won't have insects raining on them. That's my theory. The other thing was installation of this light up here. Now, I don't know how well this will show up yet. Well, there we go. It's not hugely bright, but it might help a bit for out here later at night. I was wrong. Hey, what's new? 3.3 millimeters of rain. So it did register. Okay, I have my plan for the electrical outlets on the gazebo. This junction box will just be on the vertical post, on the inside of the vertical post, on the east face of the vertical post, on the southwest corner of the gazebo. Be high up, so the power cable that comes in from the shed would come into that side, and then the power cable will come out the other side, and run around the top rail of the shed along the south side down to the southeast corner post, where it will go in one of these holes on the top of this. The other hole will be that same sort of power cable continuing across to the far end, where it will go into this, and then these guys, they'll go in there, that'll go in there, and they will join in and lie in the rail on the east side. These will be near the ends. These will be spaced in from the end by the length of that cord there, which will put them much more over the platform where people will be sitting. So I'll be able to reach up there and plug in their mobile phone charger capability. So I just need to wait for the guys to get into the way doing their tiling and stuff like that, so I can get out there and do some work on it. Or if I start doing the work and they see me, they might do it. But we don't have, well, looking at the amount of the white cable we have, we would have enough to do the wiring within the gazebo. So between the junction box and the power point, and then the power point to the other power point, and we would have enough to run from the lights out the front in the run from that light fitting up there across to the, follow the cable down to the shed, so we can then do the lighting. But we wouldn't have enough in that roll, I don't think, to go from the breaker in here. So I need to get some more cable. I'll get some of the black stuff. So to connect to this RCBO here, yeah, we need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I guess after we've done the all the other wiring, we can look at how much we've got left to see whether we've got enough to stretch across there, but I find I doubt it. But that's okay, we can always buy a bit more of the black UV resistant stuff, which would be a more appropriate thing to use. But yeah, so I've done about as much as I can for the moment. And hello, no, you're not coming in. No, 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 no. He really wants to come in. I lost the plot there when Arlen was trying to get in the shed again. Anyway, I'm starting to get hot. There's not much I can do here at the moment, so I'm going to retreat to the house and cool down. So, junction box up here, so that wire can come in, go into that, then go around across to that column where it will come down to the power point on there, with the other cable going up and across to the far end to the other power point, similarly positioned, and the wire coming out for the power board, which will end up about there for this end, and similarly for the other end. That should be adequate. And nice tiles, so it'll be readily cleaned off. And there was another delivery of steel this morning. More of this lightweight galvanised C-channel that things get constructed from, such as these things. Not sure what that's for. As I always say, I'll find out eventually. It's not for this construction. And sort of busily rearranging the rice for the rice drying. The tiling's coming along nicely. The guys are having a bit of a rest break at the moment. As you do, it's Ramadan, so these guys are fasting. So that water wouldn't be for consumption, that's for wetting stuff down. So it's going to be pretty tough in this climate to not be consuming food and drink between sun up and sun down.
going to have to get a bit creative tiling around that column. Be a few interesting cuts. And that's not the full width of a tile between the back of that one and the wall, so everyone's going to have to be cut. There you go, 2 more uncut ones they can do. And then everything's got to be cut, so there'll be lots and lots of noise coming up. More rice drying in the courtyard in front of the house. Aya's drying more rice beside her house. And down at the rice factory there's lots of rice, with a few freeloaders helping themselves to it. Yeah, it's interesting that every day in the 10-day forecast has got thunderstorms forecast, so you have to have the crew on hand ready to wrap all this up, get it under cover. It's Wednesday morning, the guys have turned up for work. Last night after they left, they came out here and put up the mounting blocks for the 2 Australian switches and the base for the junction box here. I've also ordered some UV resistant power cable, and over 60mm of rain overnight into yesterday morning, and then since midnight we've had another 27mm today, so still damp. The internet went out about 1:30 this morning. It's kind of looking like the fibre optic router might be unwell. This is a bit of a problem. As can be seen, there's been plenty of rain overnight and it's ongoing. And when I say plenty of rain, I'm not kidding. That blue number in the bottom right corner is the millimetres of rain today. And you can see it's only 6:42 AM. The provider reckons it's going to be pretty sunny and hot in this thing in the afternoons, so what we're going to do is get shade cloth pieces. Now, you can't just buy rolls of it like you would in Bunnings. You actually specify you want a 5x3 or a 5x2 or a 2x2 or a 2x3 metre piece, which is then got the sewn edges and corner eyelets and everything. So a 2x2 for the end, 2x2 for that end. And this side here is 6 metres long, just under 6 metres between the posts there. And I don't really want to go right to the end because of that cable. So what I'm going to do is get a 3x2 metre piece and a 2x2 metre piece, leaving about a 1 metre gap somewhere along the side here. And if I can get those suitable little pulleys, get some nylon cord and use some of that plastic piping over there as a roller at the bottom. So attach the rectangle to the rail along the top there and attach a piece of pipe to the bottom and have a cord which in 2 places goes down from the rail underneath the pipe and then back up to a pulley at the top there, and have the cord pull across to pulleys over the other side over there. So you can sit near that post there and pull on the cords and it will cause this to roll up. And if I do that with all 4 pieces, you can sit in the back there and control the things going up and down, and just need some sort of cleat to tie them off to when they're pulled up. So I reckon I can do that. Just got to try and get those little pulleys. That might be the challenging bit. That's the kind of pulley sheaves I'm referring to. Need 8 like that, so 2 per shade cloth piece, and then 4 like that, so 1 per shade cloth piece. So they'll be above it, and they'll be over at the back centre of the gazebo where all the cords will feed back to. And I just need to get 4 cleats to tie them back to. Right, some time ago when this lock was set up, I thought that we needed to cut this out and put a bit of plate there to stop that being visible, accessible, whatever, so that we didn't get bugs flying in there and filling it up with crap, or mud actually. But I have a spare for that, but it's a different unit, so having a plate on there would make this unit unusable, so I might just have to leave it alone. But we can take this off. We'll see what they say about that. Well, those technicians knew what they were about. They were here for about 5 minutes. They took it off the wall. They disconnected the fibre optic from the end, put that on their test device, confirmed that was good, and then swapped the power supply. Just swap the plug back, put it back on the wall, all good. Easy. Okay, it's Thursday afternoon. Looks like they've taken this about as far as they can at the moment. The guy's going to get the little pulleys I need for rolling up shade cloth roller blinds. I've got the shade cloth rectangles and nylon cord ordered on Shopee via Lise. Need something on that back wall there. Firstly to stop the trees intruding, and secondly to stop kids using this to climb up onto the fence. I learned that there is more construction at the back of Lise's patio. That's what this is for. So obviously there's going to be more concrete. And interesting frame, but more roof by the look of this. I could look at threading some of this through the framework, but it's just too damn hot. I think I'm going to have to try and come up with very specific instructions and have these guys do it when they're starting to wind down on other tasks. Time to give this thing a test drive. That was a litre of milk, a bunch of freezer burn dried bananas that have been in the freezer far too long, and a little bit of pineapple. I think we're done. Well, that's worked out pretty well. No funny tastes in the smoothie I made, so I'll just sit here and relax and inhale all that. I have the mandatory daily consumption of fruit applied by Jabita, so okay, that's today's fruit. And it's low fat milk, so it won't make me terribly fat. Just a little bit too much sugar in the bananas perhaps. Having consumed that, I thought I'd come outside and see what was going on, and I was just in time for it to start raining. But this isn't what I was expecting. Well, that's okay. Now I know. So this is an extension of Lise's back patio in a southerly direction. And what I was going to do was go over to the gazebo there and show that I've actually wired up those power points. It stopped raining, so I thought I'd come and show what I did over at the gazebo. So there's the north power points and a power board for Indo, and that's got the 3 USB ports on it. The white cable trails back to the corner down here into this power point, and then there's a white cable that comes around to this junction box, which is not look like looking like it's screwed down too tight at the moment, but that's okay. But yeah, so all we're going to do is get the cable across to here. The other thing I've done is I've ordered 2 3x1 metre shade cloth rectangles which can go across the back there. So that's solved that issue. But yeah, so my only concern about this new construct up here is whether it will shade my solar panels for my little water pump. I'll have to assume these guys know what they're about, and we'll think of that. So it's just a little sun shower. We haven't had much rain today at all. It's barely a millimetre, but it's enough to make it really, really steamy. So I'm going to go back to my lounge room and edit down my video and do an upload.